All right, welcome back. The Lead Word. This is your host, Trey Dalbert, along with me, as always, Chad Bauman. We are recording this Saturday, August 29th. Chad, what's going on today?
Not much. I beat Jade Empire. I did a whole bunch of recording yesterday. UFC 4. I picked that up when it launched. Trey, you've been bugging me to do a series for it. I've been denying it. I said, what the hell this weekend? So I'll probably edit that later and hopefully have that ready to go Monday sometime.
I am excited because I know for those who maybe aren't in the Slack, but Chad, I always get turned in and pulled in and sucked in by your video game stories, and I just need to see him live on camera. I just need to see what's going down. Plus, I think your personality will shine with the series, so I think you're perfect for it.
A lot of fucking rage, by the way.
That's what I need, Chad.
My mom started yelling at me because I was yelling at the fucking game yesterday.
That's when you know it's real.
You might be able to hear her. I don't know if the microphone picked her up through the wall, but fucking screaming at the fucking TV yesterday. Like at one point, I'm fucking pushing the button. The guy's not fucking doing anything, and I'm like, I'm pushing the fucking button. What the hell?
I'm so ready for it. If I had access to watch the gaming series of your Rutgers NCAA football series from back in the day, I'd be watching that today. So I'm excited for it.
Rutgers, wow. That's been a while.
Yeah, Chad pulls me in with his video game series, so I'm ready for it.
We were like still in our sinus when I was playing that game with Rutgers.
Yeah, I remember. Anyway, we have a good show for you guys, and we're going to be talking about Chad's beloved Philadelphia 76ers. We kind of disagree, so I think this will be kind of interesting here, or / entertaining. Chad,
I wouldn't say we disagree as much as we agree to varying levels of agreeness. That's not a word, but like we sort of agree, but to varying there's differences, but I feel like we mildly agree on certain things, aspects.
Yeah, so I think it'll be kind of interesting to dive into. Maybe we can diagnose what's going on. Chad, I'll let you kind of start and take the wheel with it. 76ers fire Brett Brown. Looks like they're going to keep Elton Brand. Elton Brand says he's not going to trade Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. So what's your plan? What's next? What are your thoughts? Go ahead and just get the ball rolling.
Okay, so as far as Elton Brand is concerned, I'll save that for a little bit later, but that's really like me and your biggest I don't know beef with anything as far as the Sixers are concerned. Brett Brown, I gotta say it, good riddance. I'm so glad they finally fired him. To be honest with you, I used to be the biggest Brett Brown supporter. Like I was telling people, like, hey, we brought him in when we had the shittiest team in the league. Literally, that's not me exaggerating. You can go back. The Sixers were literally the worst team in the league. We brought the guy in. He did a lot to keep the team together, hold on to the pieces that they were bringing in, make sure they didn't get overly discouraged or anything like that.
He guided you through the process, the early stages of the process.
Exactly, right. And I kept waiting. I was making excuse after excuse after excuse for Brett Brown. Okay, he's going to turn the corner. When's he going to turn the corner? We got to turn the corner. He never turned the fucking corner. It was always the same thing. And it'd be one thing if it was like one particular thing or it was this or that. It felt like just everything he was doing wrong. You got like X's and O's wise. He can't draw up plays.
No.
Like he's terrible at it. I've never been watching Brett Brown and be like, holy shit, where did he come up with that idea?
Well, I watch the Celtics more than anybody. 2 of the last 3 years, Boston has played Philadelphia in the playoffs. Brad Stevens has significantly outcoached them. That team 2 years ago, when it was Bellinelli or Ilyasova and those guys, Philadelphia should have killed us. There was no reason why the Celtics should have won that series.
And again, I'm not making excuses for Brett Brown anymore. The guy sucks. And then so he's a terrible X's and O's guy.
That I'll agree with.
I feel like as far as coaching is concerned, once you get to a certain level, I don't think you really shouldn't have to do too much to motivate your guys. You know, like if you're coaching in the NBA, coaching in the NFL, those dollar signs and zeros after your paycheck, those are pretty big motivators. So there's not really much you have to get those guys to do to come in and show up on game day. But Brett Brown was a terrible motivator. Like,
I don't think well, I should say this. I think Joel Embiid has tuned him out completely.
And not so much motivate. I use motivation kind of as like a broad term there. It's just I don't know what the word would be. And he doesn't get his guys to buy in, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Fucking Ben Simmons. We've been hearing about Ben Simmons' jump shot in practice for the last fucking 20 years, it feels like. He's got 2 fucking three-pointers in actual games. And Brett Brown keeps telling us how great his fucking jumper looks in practice. Well, where is that on the court? Yeah, you can't force the guy to shoot, but as head coach, you got to be like, hey, Ben, if you're not going to shoot this jump shot that I like so much, I got to move you to the 4, which he finally did in the bubble after like 5 years of just not doing anything. And then, like you said, with Embiid, I think at this point, like, these guys come into the building and they just run roughshod over Brett Brown. Like, he's like a bad babysitter. We don't have to listen. He's not our real dad. Like, what are we talking about here?
I think I'm not saying Brett Brown didn't deserve to be fired. That's not my argument. If you want to fire Brett Brown, go right ahead. I guess I should add this first. I think the biggest knock against him is the Jimmy Butler stuff. Jimmy Butler has gone to Miami, and he's made it work, and he's been great for them. And Jimmy Butler has openly come out and said he did not like Brett Brown. I think that's the biggest argument against Brett Brown.
I mean, as far as Jimmy Butler was concerned, that was one of the ones where at first I was kind of like, well, Jimmy's had problems everywhere he's been. That I wasn't going to hold that specifically to Brett Brown. But then who was it? It wasn't Matisse. Who was it? Somebody on the team, currently on the team. Somebody came out and said there's a lack of like discipline from the coaching staff or something to that effect.
Might have been Mike Scott, maybe.
I think Scott said something about it in Slack. I remember that. Hold on let me see if I can find it.
But anyway, I guess my point is, who are you going to hire would be my number one with the coaching thing, because, Chad, they can't hire the guy Allen Iverson stepped over. That can't happen. Like, your alternative to Brett Brown can't be Ty Lue. Please tell me that's not going to be the guy they hire.
To be honest with you, I haven't even thought about it. Like, it's still them losing is so fresh right now. I'm just like, I need a break from basketball. I'll start thinking about that in like a week or so, but I just need a small break.
And again, this is where we disagree. I think Brett Brown, while I'm not saying he's the greatest head coach, I think he's getting a bad rap here because I don't think anybody's winning with this roster. I think it's so poorly constructed. The Al Horford thing made absolutely no sense. And we talked about this before the beginning of the year. I hated that move to my core. That move just never made any sense. And I don't feel like any head coach is going to figure out what to do with him because he's a 5 who's slow, unathletic. Joel Embiid already clogs up the lane. You can't have Ben Simmons who doesn't shoot in the lane and then Al Horford in the lane. All year we saw Horford just flying around the three-point line, not making anything, and just can't get up and down the floor. And it's just a defensive mismatch constantly. The younger guys just blow right by him. He provided nothing. That's on Elton Brand. You can't make that move.
And again, I don't disagree. Like I said, me and Trey, we agree, but to varying levels here. My thing is I think your biggest problem is Brett Brown right now. Like Elton Brand, yeah, he's bad, but we could circle back. But Brett Brown was the biggest problem. He's had about 3 or 4 years now outside of the process, outside of the tanking, where it was go time. And he hasn't gotten any better. He hasn't learned from his mistakes. He's been doing the same thing over and over again, banging his head against the wall, expecting different results. And it is driving me. I can't defend him anymore. Like, and we'll talk about Horford. All season, I've been saying this. You can't have Horford and Embiid on the floor at the same time.
That's the
problem. To be honest with you, I honestly don't mind Horford being on the team. I cussed him out a bunch of times in the bubble because he was turning the ball over and shit like that.
Nonstop.
But there are, I mean, there's cons to having him on the team, and there's pros to having him on the team. In all honesty, having Horford on the team is good for when you need to sub Embiid. Horford and Embiid should not be on the floor at the same time.
That's the problem.
In the beginning, when the season started, when Elton Brand brought him in, we thought, it could work. Horford can shoot threes. Maybe something will happen. After the first week of the season, first 5-6 games, this is clearly not working. Horford cannot be on the floor with Embiid at the same time. And guess what? There's no shame in being a sixth man.
That's the problem.
Andre Iguodala, whose jersey I have signed over there in the corner. You can't see it, but it's there. Trust me. He made his living in Golden State being a sixth man. I don't mind Horford being a sixth man. Is he probably getting paid a lot more money than a sixth man should? Yes, but he's already signed the contract. What the fuck are you gonna do at this point?
That's the problem, though. It's hard. It's hard to bench $100 million guy.
No, it's not. Hey, Al, take a seat. That's all you got to do. I promise you.
It's hard.
Al, honestly, no, it would not have been hard. If you listened to Philly Sports Radio while the Sixers were playing, we were begging Brett Brown to put him on the bench when Embiid was in the game. We were begging Brett Brown to do that. They had basically a free pass to put that guy on the bench. And we would have cheered. We would have been like, oh my God, they finally put him on the fucking bench. Yeah, we're going to win a fucking championship. But he didn't. He never did it. He never put him on the bench. And that's a Brett Brown problem. And again, I think Elton Brand obviously has his issues as a GM, but I can't necessarily be mad at Elton Brand for being a terrible GM, considering he's only done it for one fucking year. That's on the fucking Sixers management. Their fucking their owner. Hey, we got this guy in the fucking D League who's only been a GM for like a month and a half, Let's bring him in and let him run the fucking team. Oh, that's a great idea. Who the fuck said that? Nobody. Except the Sixers owner heard it. It was like, yeah, give that guy a fucking raise. That's what we need. Straight out of the box, dumbass thinking.
Sam Hinkie got robbed.
Oh, and I told, was it Andrew who did the article about Sam Hinkie?
Yes.
Who did that?
Yes, it was Andrew.
Yeah. I told Andrew after I read his article, you should have talked about the Colangelo thing more. And I'm going to talk about it right now because it's utter bullshit. Fucking, you have the Sixers management, their ownership team or whatever, they get strong-armed by the NBA to fire Sam Hinkie. Okay, he resigned, but he was getting fired, you know, that kind of deal. And so then they bend over and take one up the ass from the NBA. Basically, the NBA says, hey, we want you to hire this guy, Big Colangelo. I don't remember his first name.
Brian.
Big Colangelo. Brian, right. And they're like, okay, anything you say, NBA. We already fired our fucking GM because you said so. So this guy comes in. Hey, my son needs a job. Let's make him GM. Okay, guy NBA told us had to be here. Bring your kid in. Okay, now the kid's here. We have all these assets. He takes a whole bunch of terrible fucking picks, trades up to get Markelle Fultz, who, I don't know, maybe he was the tap water in Philly, but now all of a sudden he can play basketball, but he couldn't fucking play basketball here. I don't know. Maybe something in Orlando they're putting in the water turned him into a great player, or maybe it's the tap water in Philly made him a shitty basketball player, so we got away from that. Now he's a good basketball player again because he was kind of good in college. We don't fucking know because he also got injured in college. And he was on a shitty team. And then this guy's fucking wife, Little Colangelo, gets on fucking Twitter and starts, I don't know, well, honestly, she's a real G for this. She's riding out for a man. I'm not going to lie. Like, G moved, well, she did use a burner. Or maybe it was his burner. We don't know. He said it was his wife. Some shit happened. Now we look like total fucking idiots to the whole league because we fired our GM because the league told us to, hired some guy they told us to. He gave his fucking kid the keys to the castle, and now we fucking shit going on Twitter.
And then ended up with
And
Elton
then we
Brand.
fire him. We fire him. And then probably some fucking unpaid intern was picking up coffee for the fucking owner. Hey, man, you remember how great Elton Brand was when he played here? Side note, Elton Brand wasn't that fucking good when he played here.
Not at all.
Oh, yeah, I remember Elton Brand. Let's bring him in. What's he up to these days? Oh, he's been a G League GM for about 30 seconds now. Perfect. He's got experience. Not really, but we can bring him in. I don't, like, and that's where we're at. So I can't be mad at Elton Brand because he decided that he wanted to be an NBA GM. Fuck it. If they knocked on my door right now, hell yeah, guys, where's the contract? I wouldn't know what I'm fucking doing. That's
right.
not my fault.
You're right. He's probably not prepared, but he built his team exactly like he played. He wanted Al Horford because he wanted a guy to bruise down low, and it's not the same NBA. They have no shooters anymore. The Tobias Harris thing, I know he's not a terrible player. Markelle Fultz hit more threes in the playoffs than Tobias Harris. That can't happen.
Again, I can't fault Elton Brand because Tobias Harris didn't wake up and eat his fucking Wheaties. Like, that's not on Elton Brand.
He did give up 2 first-round picks and Landry Shamet for no reason when he could have signed him in free agency, though. because the Clippers weren't signing them. They were going to get Kawhi.
That I'll agree with that. That's on Elton.
Yeah,
That's on Elton. That's his fault. That's not a good look for him.
Landry Shamet would be a great player to have right now.
Jimmy Butler would be a great player to have right now.
Yeah.
Who do we have to blame for that, Brett? I guarantee you, if Brett Brown wasn't the kamikaze prick that he is, we probably would have re-signed Jimmy and let Tobias walk.
Maybe.
Oh, I think it would have happened if we had a real fucking coach. And again,
but I also don't think
Brown,
you probably don't sign Horford if you don't lose Jimmy. You probably would have kept that 4. Harris, Butler, Simmons, and Embiid.
I don't see any problem with that. I think that was a great fucking starting 4.
So where do you go from here, though? Your team's stuck. They can't make any trades. What trade can they possibly make?
Yeah. The only thing you can try to do is move Horford, but you're not fucking moving that contract.
Nobody wants that guy. No.
I know. And by the way, again, Brett Brown, everywhere else Al Horford has been in the league, coaches they found a way to use him.
He's a 5, though. That's the problem. He's a starting 5. He's not a 4. He's not a 4 anymore.
He could play the 4. You know what the difference between playing 4 and 5 is? It's like an inch. That's about it. The
problem is Simmons can't shoot. If Simmons could shoot, it probably would work.
I don't think it's that Simmons can't shoot. It's that Brett Brown isn't making him shoot. I think that's the problem. Every fucking year, we see all these fucking videos of Ben Simmons shooting fucking threes at practice. But then we get in the game, it's like, okay, he's wide open. Wide open. Bet we watched you hit the same fucking shot 40 times in a video over the summer. We know you can shoot this shot. No, I'm not going to do it. And again, that's the coach. If you got a guy that's not doing what he's supposed to do, you got to do something. Either change your offense or say, hey, if you're not going to do the job, I'm going to find somebody that will.
I want to pull up the article that I just wrote today, and I don't know if you saw it or not, Chad. I'm sure you're busy.
Saw it. I didn't read it.
Okay.
I saw the headline.
There's a big stat in here that I included. And each of the last 3 years, actually each of the last 7 years, Brett Brown's been the head coach. The thing that's really changed is the pieces around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. So 2 years ago, they're on the floor together. They're a plus 15.5, which is really good. Ranked 5th of all duos in the league. Last year, plus 7.9 when they're on the floor together, which is still really good. It's not 15.5, but it's still really good. This year, they were a plus 0.6 on the floor together. The only thing that's changed is the pieces around them. I think Horford can't be in the starting lineup with those two guys. It fucks everything up.
You can't be in the same lineup. And we saw it when the bubble came back. It was better. When Horford was on the bench, it was better.
That's a 15-point swing right there that I just laid out.
Like I said, I really do think Elton Brand fucked up. I'm not saying he didn't. But I honestly think the biggest problem is Brett Brown is the biggest problem. There's no discipline on this team. Like, you got fucking Joel Embiid. Like, I'm sorry, I get it. Basketball, especially at the NBA level, it takes a lot to be in shape. When you look at, like, Shaq, right? Shaq, they kind of covered for him on defense, and then that way he could just dominate on offense. Shaq didn't really play defense like that.
Towards the end of his career, mostly. Orlando Shaq could run.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he didn't play any defense, but even then, they still kind of they hit him on defense. That way, he could just dominate on the offensive end. With Embiid, I think the problem is, and we learned this when Ben Simmons went down in the playoffs once they started in the bubble. Like he can't be a great offensive player and a great defensive player for you.
I think they play him too many minutes.
And I think one of the things that, as far as discipline is concerned, we learned this last year when they played Toronto. I think it was game 3 or 4. I don't remember which one it was. They had a lead in the fourth quarter, and then they blew the lead after 3 straight turnovers. It was like an 8-point lead. 3 straight turnovers blew the lead. And then one of those turnovers was a 24-second shot clock violation coming out of a timeout. Who does that? Who coming out of a timeout can't at least hit the fucking rim with the ball?
I also think part of the problem is, though, and maybe you could agree or disagree, but I think last year, Jimmy Butler was the only guy on the floor that didn't need anybody to set him up. He could create his own buckets, whether it be from inside or outside.
I agree to a certain extent. I think. I guess you would kind of consider that a setup. I was going to say, if you could get Embiid the ball in the post, he can usually take most centers to the rack.
I'm saying do it by himself the whole way, inside or outside. Butler's the only guy in that team last year that could do that.
See, I'm not so much. I mean, yes, I would agree with that, but I mean, when you think about how basketball is supposed to be played, that's hero ball. That's the shit that you hate Russell Westbrook for.
Correct.
So I'm not going to be mad if you don't got guys that can't create their own shot. Is it nice to have that to fall back on every once in a while? Yeah, but I think the problem is you got guys that can't create their own shot, and then you got a coach that can't create plays. So I think that's more of a problem with, I think those are a problem, but together, that's the coach's fault.
What do you think about Josh Richardson? Because I think during that Celtics series, he's the only guy on that team who really balled his ass off. He gave 100% the whole time.
I agree. I think, and that's my biggest problem. Again, it comes back to coaching. Like, if you have to be, as a fucking coach, I don't care if you're coaching fucking Little League or the NBA, you have to be able to read the room and be like, okay, my guy's got this. I can pull back. Or in the fucking playoff series against a rival, which, to quote Embiid, not really a fucking rivalry anymore because they keep beating our asses. Got to come into the locker room and be like, okay, I don't think we have it tonight. Probably got to get some bulletin board material. Something. They look sorry. The Sixers, they look like they were ready to fucking go home.
Game 3, they were looking for any excuse to roll over.
Absolutely. I would even say in game 2, with the exception of Embiid and Josh Richardson.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it was like, Mickey Mouse really isn't all that great. I want to go home. That's what it felt like.
How do you fix the roster, though? You have to fix the roster. You can't expect this team, even with a new coach, to be serious title contenders.
One thing that I would do going forward, Matisse Thybulle, I think he's got to get more starting reps.
It would be nice if he was a reliable shooter.
I mean, that's true. I think more than anything, his problem is he just gets into foul trouble too much.
A lot, yeah.
And I think that's really what kind of maybe throws off his game and his rhythm is he comes in, starts doing good. 2 seconds later, he's out of the game because he's already got 5 fouls, and it's the first quarter.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, Matisse, you got to calm down just a little bit. So I think we got to work on maybe having him on the floor more. And I think that goes a long way with having Al Horford come off the bench. I think the biggest problem, and I think is more than anything was evident in game 1, because again, after game 1, they stopped trying, is you need somebody on your bench that can spell Ben Simmons.
They need more ball handlers, for sure.
Right. Somebody that's going to set up the offense when Ben's not in. Because I feel like in game 1, it was like, okay, Ben can't pass us the ball. What are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
And nobody knew.
That. It did look like that.
And again, fucking Brett Brown, hey, buddy, want to dial something up? You know, you got the fucking clipboard, draw a play. Something. Help.
Shake Milton did a decent job, but he's not a ball handler. Like, you could tell he just didn't really know what he was doing setting up the offense.
Yeah. I think I think the roster that they have, and this isn't wishful thinking, this isn't me being delusional. If you use these guys' strengths, what they're good at, I do think you can. Maybe you're not going to win, but I think you're in the mix in the playoffs, and you could potentially go to the finals with this roster. But
I don't think you're beating Milwaukee regardless.
I think you isn't Milwaukee like fucking losing to Orlando right now?
No, they just won today. They just they won the series.
They were losing at one point. Well, anyway, I
think they have more talent than Miami. I'm not sure they're better than Miami.
Milwaukee?
No. I'm talking about Philadelphia.
Oh, because you said Miami out of nowhere.
My brain's fucked up.
You know what? I think honestly, and one of the problems with their offense was Embiid constantly playing at the top of the key.
Yes.
At the 3-point line. Yes, can Embiid, for a center, shoot 3-pointers pretty well? Again, just as a center, when you put him in that center box, yeah, he shoots 3-pointers pretty well for a center. Do I want him taking threes on a regular basis? No. If I get 4 shots from Embiid from beyond the arc, 2 of them go in, I'm good with it. 1 of them goes in, I'm good with it. But there's games where, like, Brett Brown's the head coach and Embiid has, like, 7 3-pointers. Why? Well, that's because Brett Brown doesn't have him playing by the basket like he should, where he dominates. So I think the key to this whole thing is you do have to bring in more guys that can handle the rock when Ben isn't in there.
And shooters.
And then have Embiid play down low where he's best.
Do you miss Robert Covington?
No. Not at all. He's Robert Covington is fucking Matisse Thybulle, but Matisse shoots better than he does.
I had to see your reaction on that.
Like I said, if we want Robert Covington, we basically have better Robert Covington in Matisse.
I know you miss him a little bit.
No, hell no.
All right, Chad. Do you have anything else? I know you had to get this out of your system.
I'm trying to, for the life of me, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what draft picks the Sixers have.
I believe they have 1 first-round pick.
And that's not theirs. They got that in a trade.
I
they
believe
don't have
it's
theirs.
I believe it's Oklahoma City's for some reason. Jeremy Grant or something like that.
And I think they have like 2 second-rounders or 2 or 3. I don't remember. I was going to say you got to try to fix it in the draft because obviously, I mean, you're not trading Tobias. I don't think there's that much of a market for him. Maybe you can get like a couple second rounders for him.
I don't think anybody wants his contract either, though.
That's what I was saying.
Fucking money.
That's what I was saying. Maybe you can trade him, but I don't think anybody wants him. I don't think there's really a market for him. And if you can trade him, you're probably only getting a second round pick, if that.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can do anything with this roster because Josh Richardson's pretty good, and I don't think you'd want to give him up. And there's no bench piece that you can really flip to make something into something better.
Maybe someone just has to go talk Horford into fucking retiring.
Yep. That's the move. That's the move right there.
I'll do it. I'll jump on that grenade.
$30 million in cap room right there. Boom.
Hey, Elton, just slide me a cool G and some season tickets. I'll take care of the cap problem right now. Yo, just give me his number. Hey, Al. It's the new head of player retirement acquisition parties.
I like the title.
Chad Bauman. I don't know. Those words in combination don't even make sense together like that. But fuck it, man. Elton, like I said, cool G and season tickets. They got to be courtside though, obviously. Like I'm not working for fucking peanuts here. Like you're not putting me in the nosebleeds, Elton. You got to be maybe not courtside, lower level, not upper level, lower level. We won't even go courtside. A cool G and some tickets. Nice, decent view, season tickets. That's all I ask. Not much. At half court, though. It's got to be half court. I'm not trying to be, like, behind the fucking, scoreboard or anything like that.
I'm anxiously awaiting to see who they hire. That's the biggest thing. If they hire LeBron's puppet Ty Lue, I will die of laughter.
They're not going to hire Ty Lue. There's a dude, what's his name? They were talking about him on the radio the other day. I can't remember what his name is, though.
I wouldn't hire Jason Kidd either.
Wasn't him. It wasn't a guy who's ever played in the NBA. He's like an assistant. Who's he assistant for? I mean, hold on. I'll see if I can.
Honestly, Monty Williams looks pretty good in Phoenix right now. If you were going to make the Brett Brown change, why not promote him last year?
Well, because they were still trying to make fucking Brett Brown happen. That's why.
They got another Spurs assistant right now, their assistant coach. Forget what his name is.
Who, the Sixers?
Yeah.
Udoka?
Yeah,
Udoka?
something like that.
Yeah, they could promote him. Uh, I You know what though? I couldn't find the guy who I was thinking of, but somebody they could go get is Jay Wright, Villanova.
And he said in the past that's the only job he would ever leave Villanova for.
They don't even have to move his family.
Nope.
Bring him.
If they hire Jay Wright, I will fold and say firing Brett Brown was absolutely the right decision.
No, you need to fire Brett Brown regardless. And we talked about this. If they fire Elton Brand, okay, I'm fine with it. You could fire Ed Brown or Brett. You can fire Elton Brand or not fire Elton Brand. I don't care. But who absolutely needed to go is Brett Brown. And I said,
I'm the opposite.
I was rooting for Brett Brown. I used to be in the bar like, no, man, you're wrong. Brett's got this. He's doing this. You saw him when we came out of the timeout, and then we went on a 7-point, a 20-point run to tie it up. He just got lucky, blah, blah, blah. No, fuck it. Brett Brown, you're the worst. I'm glad you got fired. Don't fucking let the door hit you on the way out. I'll fucking drive you to the airport, motherfucker.
That was such a Philly line. All right, Chad. I don't have anything else unless you have something. But I'm excited for the video game series you got going. I'm excited for it.
Yep. I think what I'm going to do, because I don't really have too much time to do that much as far as the games and stuff are concerned. Once I'm done with the UFC game, I'm thinking I'm going to go retro. It's not even retro. This game came out in like 2004, which now kind of makes me feel old. I played it on the original Xbox, like the OG. I got it back in 2004 Xbox. Jade Empire. Great game. It's nothing to do with sports. I think if I do another gaming series, that's where I want to go with it. Because I just found out when I was looking up things to do the UFC series with, the Xbox One is backwards compatible with Jade Empire.
There you go.
One of the all-time most underrated video games ever. That game absolutely deserves a sequel.
Beautiful. So we're looking forward to that. Chad got his frustrations out with the Sixers. We're curious to see who they eventually hire, if any trades are made. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid will be sticking around for now. Brand said he won't trade him, so we'll see what happens here in the offseason.
Closing thought. As far as the roster is concerned, because like we said, as of right now, you're not trading Horford. You're not really – you maybe might be able to fleece somebody with Tobias luck and get like a second rounder. That's basically just trying to get rid of that contract. If there are any moves they can make, it's probably going to have to be trading Embiid. That's probably the only move that would make sense.
Never thought I'd hear you say that.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't want them to trade Embiid. That's the only move they can make that would do anything for them. Because you can't move Simmons and keep Embiid because you don't have anybody that can get Embiid the ball unless you're confident in somebody in the draft, but that's an unproven thing.
Right.
So this playoff series, that's what we learned from this. If you're moving either one, it's got to be Embiid.
Yeah, I've actually changed my mind on it. I used to be trade Simmons. I would, if I had to choose, I would trade Embiid.
I think Embiid he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot that you can do with him, but if right now, like their defense was worse when Simmons wasn't in the game.
Oh, Simmons is an unbelievable defender.
Their defense was so much worse without Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons might be one of the 5 best defenders in the league.
So,
especially because of how long he is for a point guard. He can guard anybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, even when they had him playing the 4 before he got hurt, he can guard 1 through 5, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whether he could play point guard and not shoot, or play the 4 and guard point guards, whatever you want him to do. But that was it. That was the last thing. I was just kind of thinking about that. Just a lesson learned from being in the bubble.
A lesson learned for another year in the process. All right, Chad. That'll do it for me. You can follow the site, media_Vendetta. Follow Chad, LALFWOTED, Little Footed. Myself, Trey Dalbert. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We're getting close to 100. We're getting there. Buy a shirt. We're going to have new designs. What else did I miss here?
Well, like Trey said, like and subscribe. Like the video on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow the site on Twitter, Vendetta_media.
Yep.
Monday, you'll get episode 1, UFC 4.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
That's Monday. It's a long one. Episode 1 is going to be like 50 minutes long. Episode 2 is probably like 40 minutes, and then I have enough content recorded for 1, 2, and 3. So Monday, you're getting an episode no matter what.
Damn.
That way, I figured I was playing the game. I could just keep playing and then edit as I see fit throughout the week.
I'm ready for it.
So Monday, episode 1, UFC 4. Yeah, I think we're good. I think that's it. So thanks for giving us a listen. We'll see you next week. And don't forget to like and follow all that shit we said before.